What's up, peeps? John Livia, Series Intelligence Bodybuilding. Wanted to jump on here and let you people know too. Share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so all the newest content you'll be the first to see. Also, this channel doesn't make any money. I don't have any endorsements. I don't have any sponsors. Hopefully that will change in the future. But I set up a Cash App. If you would like to make a donation, I don't care how big or how small, this is my Cash App. It's the $ with my name. $ the Cash App $ thingy, JOHNLIVIA. The link will be in the description, and anything that you want to donate would be greatly appreciated, because I need to keep this channel going, and it's a big help if I get any kind of donation. So just don't be cheap. $2, $3, I don't care how much, but in all seriousness, it would be a great help. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. I'm out. Enjoy the video. Serious Intelligence Bodybuilding. Like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button so that you don't miss any content that I put out. So recently I've been putting some shorts up of me in the gym working out because I feel like I need to at least show you guys that I could walk the walk. I've been talking the talk for the last year on this channel. It's going to be almost a year. In January, it'll be a year that the channel's alive. And thanks to you guys, it's doing well. Reached over 1,000 subscribers. It's growing in popularity. So thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. Everybody from my muscle militia, shirt's coming soon. Actually, it should be here by probably the end of the week. So we'll see. But anyway, so I've been putting those shorts up to show that I can walk the walk and that I'm not a Johnny come lately, if you will, for lack of a better term. Because there's a lot of bodybuilding channels that are on my level or a little bit better, and they're big fans of bodybuilding, the actual sport of, but they don't actually know what it takes to put the muscle on and the size on and the PEDs and the food and the supplements and so on and so forth. So since we are in the bodybuilding off season and there are no shows, this is the time of year where everybody's trying to put some size on. So this episode is going to be about basically the basics of putting some size on. And believe it or not, the basics aren't so basic. There's a lot, but they are still basic. And we are going to break it down into 4 categories: training, food, supplements, and PEDs. And I am going to give you guys a structure, guideline of what to do to put on as much muscle as you personally are capable, because everybody's a little bit different. You know, there are a lot of channels out there that say, do this and you put 20 pounds on in a month or something stupid like that. Do this, you put 30 pounds on in 3 months or something ridiculous. Everybody's different. Some people could do half of what I'm going to tell you when they're going to put 30 pounds on. Some people could do everything that I tell you to a T and they're going to put 10 pounds on. But it's still better than what you personally started with. So let's get started. First thing is training. Okay. First thing you have to do is join a gym where there are people that you can learn from, people that are serious about bodybuilding and putting muscle on and training and know what they're doing. And look, gyms like LA Fitness and Retro and Planet Fitness, yeah, they're nice gyms and they're clean and the people are nice and so on and so forth. But it's amateur hour, okay? 99% of the people in there have no clue what they're doing when it comes to bodybuilding. It's catered to people that don't know what they're doing. They cater to the average Joe who wants to get in shape. From time to time, you might have a handful or 1 or 2 guys that actually know what they're doing. Believe me, I go to an LA Fitness. I go to 2 gyms. I go to an LA Fitness and I go to Signature. Signature is the quote unquote hardcore gym that I go to, where there are a lot of people that know what they're doing, like myself. And even more so, there's plenty of pro bodybuilders that go to that gym. Akeem Williams used to go there. I still see him from time to time. Victor Martinez goes there from time to time. Sean Clarita used to go there when he lived in New Jersey. It's a really good gym. It's in Bellevue, New Jersey. I actually did a hardcore score episode on Signature Gym. And the reason I go to LA Fitness is because if you go to one, you can go to any of them. And when I go visit my mother or I'm out of town, I can go to one with no charge and no problem, blah, blah, blah. But that being said, do yourself a favor and find yourself a hardcore gym. Not only are the people in there going to know what they're doing, the energy is different. Everybody in there is looking to put put muscle on and bodybuild and get better at what they're doing. And you're going to see the difference in the intensity. It's almost like it's a different feeling when you walk into a hardcore gym. When you walk into a hardcore gym, you get this overwhelming feeling that I better put the work in here. Otherwise, I'm going to be an outcast, if that makes any sense. Whereas LA Fitness, and it's just a bunch of people going through the motions. So I hate to say LA Fitness because that's the one I go to, but you know what I mean. Join one of those gyms, because also the people in there are going to be able to help you and help you right. And you'll see, you go in there, there's usually bodybuilding trophies that people have won that belong to that gym. There's pictures of people, there's autographed pictures of bodybuilders. I mean, all the equipment is geared to bodybuilding. There's usually not an aerobics room. Sometimes there is, though. Well, the more modern day hardcore gyms, like a Signature that I go to, they have an aerobics room and so on and so forth. But the old school ones that were built in the 70s and 80s, the hole in the walls, that's where you're going to make the best gains. And that's where you're going to get the most people that know what they're talking about. And that's where the intensity and the schooling of bodybuilding is going to come from. By me, there's one called Diamond Gym. It's very popular. There's always one. You just got to look for them. They're few and far between, but there's always one. Okay. Once you join there, all right, look, you got to stick to the basics, okay? Don't be one of these guys that go on YouTube and go on Instagram and look at one of these social media influencers and they try to reinvent the wheel and do this and do that. Look, it's the basics, okay? It's bench pressing, it's squatting, it's deadlifts, it's bicep curls, it's skull crushes. It is the basic movements that Arnold did, and even before Arnold, Sergio Oliva did, and so on and so forth, okay? These are the basic movements that have always worked and always will work. You have to incorporate these into your workouts, okay? This is a must, all right? You can't go in there and say, I don't like squatting. I don't like to squat, so I'm going to do leg presses. Well, then your legs aren't going to grow. The number one best movement for growing legs is squats, period, end of story. It's not even an argument. It's not even an argument, okay? Weight. The weight is necessary, but you don't want to go so heavy that you can't, the form is off and that you're going to hurt yourself and you're only going to get 2 or 3 or 4 reps out of it. No. You want the weight and the reps to be there. So you want 10, 12, 15 reps of hard moving, good form weight, where by the time you get to 10 or 12, you can't move anymore, to the point where, and that is what's referred to as failure. And then on top of that, you could do drop sets. You could do giant sets. You could do forced reps if you have a good partner. And these are the things, when you push past that point of failure, those are the reps that are going to count, that are going to make you grow. See, what happens is when your muscle is under this point where you're pushing it to a point where it has never been before, it has no choice but to adapt. And in order to muscle to adapt, that means it's got to grow and get bigger. That's the whole point. Going through the motions is literally, you're like on a paradoxical treadmill, going nowhere fast. Now, obviously, this is not for the beginner. This is for the intermediate, right? Who's past the, I know how to do a bench press, and past the, I know how to do a squat, right? I mean, if you're a beginner, then any gym is good. And then I would go on YouTube and Google and so on and so forth and say, hey, how do I do a proper squat? How do I do a proper bench press? How do I do a proper skull crusher, a proper, alternate dumbbell curl, whatever, and learn the form. It is the most important thing. The form is the most important thing. Number one, if you don't have the form right, you could really hurt yourself. And number two, if you don't have the form right, you're not isolating the muscle. You're using every other muscle around it. And that's not the point of bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is to isolate that muscle to the point of failure and push it to the point where it has no choice but to adapt and grow. That's the whole idea behind bodybuilding. Now, consistency, okay? You have to go. If you want to put muscle on, you can't be one of these guys that joins a gym, works out for 2 weeks, and then doesn't go back. That's worthless. It's useless. Bodybuilding is not for you. Try golf, try ping pong, do another hobby, because bodybuilding is not for you. And in order for you to really go 4, 5, 6 days a week to the gym, well, I wouldn't say 6, I would say 4 or 5 primarily, 5 days a week to a gym and work and train hard to the point where it is uncomfortable, that means you have to love it. And that's fine if you don't love it. But then just find yourself another hobby, because this isn't for you. Because the entire idea, like I said, is to get to the point where you are uncomfortable. And that's where the gains are made. Okay. Off days. You need off days. Don't be one of these people where it's like, I got to go 7 days a week. Got to go to the gym. No, especially when you're looking to grow. You need off days. If you are pushing your muscles to the point of no return, you're pushing your muscles to the point of failure, they need days off and rest in order to prepare. See, a lot of people think that you go into the gym and you work out, and that's when the muscles grow. No, that's not when the muscles grow. The muscles grow when they're repairing. The muscles grow when they're resting. The muscles grow when you give them the proper nutrients and calories in order to repair and grow. That's when they grow. So that it is essential that you take 2 days a week off. Sometime you take a Wednesday off, you take a Sunday off, or something like that, or whatever is good for your schedule. Okay. It's absolutely necessary. All right. Part 2, the food. You have to eat. And when I say eat, you have to eat. Eating becomes a job. Eating becomes to the point where it's uncomfortable, just like the weight training. And I know you're going to say, but John, I do eat. Well, it's not working, is it? So you have to eat more. And a lot of people, when they think they eat a lot, they don't eat a lot. If you look at an actual IFBB Pros bodybuilder's diet, off-season bodybuilder's diet, the amount of food they take in is it's obscene. It's almost disgusting. It's unheard of. And here's the problem that a lot of young people have when they first start doing it, or not so much young, but a beginner. They think they have to eat a lot right off the bat, and they make themselves sick. No, we don't want to do that, because then what happens is you don't want to do it. So no, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is ease into it. So, for example, you're going to eat 6 meals a day, right? Minimum. You're going to eat 6 meals a day. You get up in the morning, and right now you have 3 eggs, and maybe you have a bowl of oatmeal. Okay. That's clearly not enough. What you're going to do is you're going to move to 6 eggs and a bowl of oatmeal, okay, and a banana. And then the following week, you're going to move to 7 eggs and a bowl of oatmeal and a banana. And you're going to slowly increase the protein and calories, okay, until you get to probably 10, 11, 12 eggs. And, it doesn't all have to be whole eggs, 3 whole eggs, 4 whole eggs, and also the rest are egg whites, okay? But you do need those fats. You certainly need that cholesterol, because the cholesterol from the egg yolk is going to increase your testosterone levels, okay? When you take in fats and cholesterols, they naturally increase your testosterone level. So you want to take in that. But like I said, you don't have to stuff yourself to the point where you're sick, where you don't want to do this anymore. So you gradually do it. Take a couple of weeks and gradually eat every day. Make sure you're eating 6 meals a day, okay? But make sure that you gradually go into it. So now if you're only eating, 4 or 5 ounces of chicken, you move it to 6 or 7 ounces of chicken, and you move it to a cup of brown rice, and you move it to some greens or veggies or something. So then that would be meal 2, and so on and so forth. Every meal has to have a protein source, and every meal has to have a carbohydrate source, and every meal should have some kind of greens. I know I don't eat as many greens as I should. I'm guilty of it too. Believe me, I'm guilty of it. Carbohydrates. Bodybuilders, off-season, growing muscle diet, I would stick to complex carbs, slowly breaking down carbs, if that makes sense. Brown rice, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, brown rice pasta, things like that. You don't want to take in carbohydrates and your carbs spike. You want to break it down, and your carbs are in your system all day long, so you have the energy to do what you need to do all day long, and your body absorbs this throughout the day. Part of the food is going to be shakes, but you don't want to make shakes your primary part of the food. If you take 6 meals a day in, 1 shake, 2 shakes tops, okay? I would even say 1. If you could do without it and make it all food, that's even better. But unfortunately, most of us live in reality, and we work jobs, and we go to school, and we have families, and sometimes we need to take a shake in. So post-workout shake. Here was my post-workout shake when I was trying to put weight on. This was my shake. 2 scoops of whey protein, and that's probably equivalent to between about 50 grams of whey protein, give or take, depending on what brand it is. But it's usually 20 to 25 grams per scoop, give or take, right? So you're looking at about 50 grams of protein right there. 1 scoop of a fast-acting carbohydrate, but a quality one. I used to use Carbolin. There's plenty of different ones. I think Species make one. There's a lot of them make ones. You don't want to use these ones that are like dextrose or anything like that. Usually when you look on the back, it says, it says potato, it says rice, it says corn, and things like that. And it's more of a quality type of carbohydrate. I know corn, but they throw it in anyway because it's probably cheaper, right? But it's usually rice or potato. 1 scoop of Carbolin is usually about 50 grams of carbohydrates, okay? 1 scoop of creatine, which is going to be 5 grams of creatine. 1 scoop of glutamine, which is going to be equivalent to 5 grams of glutamine. 2 scoops of all-natural peanut butter, which is going to be 16 grams of your essential fats. 1 banana, which will be an additional 27 grams of carbohydrates. 4 packets of stevia, water. And that's a pretty good post-carbohydrate shake because you're getting all nutrients in. It's high in calories. And you're going to take it right after your workout, so you're going to absorb it relatively quickly. Not super quickly because it's going to be digested as food because you're going to be putting food in there and so on and so forth. But it's definitely a quality post-workout shake. Red meat. Unfortunately, you're going to have to take in red meat. If you can take in red meat once a day, that is fantastic, okay? Everybody's afraid of red meat because of heart disease. Well, your best bet is to take in grass-fed red meat. There was a research study done some years ago. Dave Palumbo talks about this. And the research study showed that if the population would change from mass-produced red meat to grass-fed red meat, then you probably cut the heart disease in half. Because this is what happens in the United States, okay? Cows are supposed to eat grass. Naturally, they're supposed to eat grass. Fish, they're supposed to eat little fish. Chickens, they're supposed to eat seeds. But because corn is so prevalent and so cheap in this country, that's what they use to feed them. And then what happens is they get sick because they're not supposed to be eating this. This is not natural for them. So they get sick. And then they give them antibiotics. So it becomes basically a not so healthy food. And the health factors that you're supposed to be getting from red meat, fish, chicken are not there. So when you buy red meat, grass-fed, when you buy fish, wild caught, when you buy chickens, it should say, it'll say omega-3, 9, omega-3, 6, 9, some shit like that. And it'll say cage-free, and it'll say, it'll say something like seed, fed with seed, some crap like that. You'll see it. Believe me. If you go to a decent spot like a Wegmans or a Trader Joe's, they'll have them there. Okay, even ShopRite has them there. All right. So yeah, you're gonna have to incorporate that stuff into your diet, and it is necessary because we need these nutrients and these healthy nutrients to put muscle on. But not only do you want to put muscle on, but you want to stay healthy, right? That's the whole idea. Now, because we're eating so much, everybody's body type is a little bit different. Okay. Some people will never drop a body fat on, and they could eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and they will never put body fat on. Some people could eat, and they do put on body fat. So if that's the case, if you're one of those people, you are going to have to stay consistent with your cardio. You don't want to do so much cardio where you're going to be burning muscle and so on and so forth, but you are going to have to stay consistent with your cardio. Now, I've heard the argument before where if you train hard enough, you don't have to do cardio. Well, guess what? The most of us don't train hard enough, okay? And that just is the case. And if you are a full-time employee somewhere and you have a job or you're a business owner and reality is what it is reality, then you're not going to be able to, go to the gym twice a day like a professional bodybuilder. You're going to have to get there either early in the morning or after you work out or on your lunch break or whenever you can. And you're going to have to do the best you can to get the workouts in and get the quality workouts in. And if that's the case, where you need to eat enough food, where you are eating enough food, then you're going to have to do cardio if you are the type of person that puts body fat on when they eat too much. Now, I am one of those people. I still do cardio. If you ever follow me on Instagram, how I do to kill cardio is I'm just on Instagram bullshitting with people because cardio sucks. It's boring. But you have to do it if you're one of these type of people that put body fat on, because you don't want to put too much body fat on, because then the gains you're making is just not quality. You're just gaining fat. And that's not the idea. The idea is that you want to gain muscle. And if you do some cardio, that would also increase your appetite and you'll be able to continue eating. Okay. And, do cardio, get your heart rate up, sweat, at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Like I said, you don't want to do an hour of cardio or anything like that. But you're going to have to monitor yourself. If you're one of these people that don't need any cardio, hey, great. You don't have to do cardio. You can put muscle on, eat, hit the gym. Wonderful. If you're one of these people that do, then unfortunately you do. Okay. Now, next part, supplements. This is the easiest part. These are the basic supplements everybody needs or is into bodybuilding. I might go into some supplements that are like you can if you want to. But these are the basics. The first one is obviously a whey isolate. The second one is creatine, glutamine, and carbolone. We've covered that because it has to go into your post-workout shake, right? Okay. Multivitamin, multi-mineral, fiber. You got to use fiber because you want to poop on the regular, okay? And fiber also, you're going to be eating so much food that fiber feeds the good bacteria in your stomach, and you're going to need that to break down all this food and keep your stomach health as best as it possibly can be kept. The fiber, I prefer the fiber lice from Species. That's the one I like. I mean, I tried a couple of them, but that's the one I like. I take it once a day, and 1 scoop a day. I drink it down right away, and it works wonders. Me and my wife use it. It works great. Vitamin C, vitamin D, CoQ10. Okay. Vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams, 500 milligrams twice a day. Okay. Now, this is just an approximation. Everybody's a little different. Some people might need more. Some people might need less. This is just an approximation. This is what I do. So I'm just giving it to you. And then you're going to have to balance out what's good for you. Vitamin D, 5,000 units a day. Now, I take vitamin D more than normal because I work in the sewer and I don't get a lot of sunlight. So I'm on the ground all day. So if I don't take vitamin D, I literally have no vitamin D in me. So I take a higher potency vitamin D, which is 5,000 units a day. I think they make a 2,000 unit one. I'm not 100% sure, but I take 5,000 units, and that seems to work great for me. CoQ10. I take 100 milligrams of once a day. Now, the reason why you want to take CoQ10 is because CoQ10, I had to write it down actually because I knew it worked with cell repair, but I didn't know how. So it actually helps energy production in cells, which leads to the better repair of cells, including muscle cells. So this is why you want to take in CoQ10, especially if you're a little bit older, because when you get older, over 35, over 40, and you want to still put some muscle on, you're going to need it because your cell reproduction and cell repair is not as good as it was when you were younger. Let's face it. We're all getting older, and that's the case. That's just the fact of the matter. That's it. Okay. A lot of people like to use amino acid drink, right? They like to drink it during your workouts or after workouts and so on and so forth. Well, I'm here to tell you that it is not necessary. Okay. If you're taking in enough protein, then you don't need your extra amino acids, right? Between the whey protein and all the food you're taking in, you're not going to need your amino acids because, as everybody knows, amino acids is what makes up protein. So if you're taking in enough protein, you're not going to need amino acids. Now, amino acids like good, like if you're on a low calorie diet and you're working out and you need extra to repair, or you don't take in enough food, right? And so you could taking in anything you can while you're working out. But personally, when I'm working out, I drink water, stay hydrated, Hydration helps muscle. Hydration helps pump. Okay, stay hydrated. Water, water, water. That's what I drink. I drink it when I'm working out, drink it when I'm doing cardio. I drink it throughout the day, right? That's necessary. Okay, on to the fun stuff. PEDs. Now, I am going to preface that this is not for everybody. If you want to use PEDs, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I am not here saying that you have to. I am just going to give you a guideline if you'd like to use PEDs to put muscle on. That's all I'm here doing, okay? I'm not condoning the use of it. I'm saying if you want to, at least follow what I'm going to say, so at least you'll do it safely. The first thing you need to do is go get your testing kit from davepalumbo.com. I know they sell it at other places, but that's where I get it from, okay? It is a testing kit, so when you buy your PEDs, you could actually test to see if it's real, right? It's very simple. It's a solution. You put a couple of drops of whatever PED you're using, okay? And then there's a color chart. And if that color lines up with the color that the solution turns after you put the drops in, hey, it's real. Now, you're not going to be able to know what the potency is. In order to know what the potency is, you're going to have to send it out to be tested, which most people are not going to do because that is relatively expensive, okay? But at least with this testing kit, you are going to know that it is real. I also believe that he sells a testing kit for growth hormone. I've never used it, but I'm pretty sure he does. Now, I'm gonna title this fucking video "Putting Muscle On. Let's Keep It Simple." Stupid. You know what I mean? Putting muscle on, let's keep it simple. And that's what PEDs should be. It should be simple. PEDs should not be the primary source of building muscle. It should be one component. All right. The best analogy I ever in my life got for using PEDs was from a female bodybuilder. And I will never forget her. She was a great mentor of mine when I was in my 20s and I was in college. Her name was Cassie Hornbuckle. I hope she's doing well. I have not spoken to her in many, many years, but she was a great mentor of mine. And she said to me, steroids are supposed to be like makeup, just a little bit to make yourself look a little better. That's exactly how PEDs are supposed to work. Just a little bit to make everything work better. Okay. Because look, your body can only handle so much. So giving yourself more and more and more isn't going to help. It's just not. And also staying on all year round isn't going to help because you're going to hit a glass ceiling where the amount of time and the amounts that you're taking have done its job and your receptor sites will be flooded. And what you will need to do is come off. But before we get there, testosterone. Every steroid cycle needs a base of testosterone. You don't have to do 2,000, 3,000 milligrams a week. You don't have to be a lunatic. Okay. 500, 750, 1,000 maximum. You might not even need that much. 500 to 750 is probably fine of testosterone. I prefer any slow acting one. Cypionate, enanthate, sustanon. I don't really prefer propionate because you got to hit yourself every other day. And it is annoying. You feel like a pin cushion. If I could do it, if I could inject myself as little as possible, I would. So for me, twice a week, testosterone, and then add an anabolic on top of it. So what I mean is testosterone and DECA, testosterone and Equipoise, testosterone and Masteron. I always prefer DECA because if I lift heavy, then it helps with my joints and my lower back and my tendons. It helps. It helps actually keep everything lubricated, and it makes you feel much better when you're lifting heavy. And it's also a good muscle for repair. Okay. 400 to 600 milligrams a week. So you put it in the same syringe twice a week, the testosterone, the DECA, the testosterone EQ, whatever you prefer, twice a week, bang, you're done. Make sure that you are taking an anti-estrogen, a Arimidex, because if you get gynecomastia and it sets in, the only way to get rid of it is to have it surgically removed. That's it. And there's also no guarantee that it's not going to set in if you take Arimidex. It's highly unlikely, but it also can happen. But you just want to take the proper precautions if you're going to do all this, okay? You don't want to half-ass it because this stuff is dangerous, and I'm just trying to guide you and show you the right way and the safest way to do it, okay? Orals, because this was always my cycle style. Testosterone, injectable anabolic like a DECA EQ Masteron, and an oral. I always prefer D-bol. A lot of people love Anadrol. 50 milligrams a day, 100 milligrams a day, tops. 50 milligrams seems to be fine. Okay. Now, you might have some problems where it blunts your appetite. Now, that used to happen to me with Anadrol, and that doesn't really happen to me with D-bol. And it was also dose related. If I moved up to 100 milligrams a day of taking a Anadrol, it really blunted my appetite. But if you're sensitive and it blunts your appetite at 50 milligrams a day and you can't eat, then don't take the oral, because it doesn't make any sense to me. In order to put size on, you need those calories. So don't do it, because I'd rather see you eat and put the quality muscle on than take an Anadrol and then not have an appetite, not be able to eat. It's like that doesn't make any sense to me. But other people argue against me. But this is just my opinion, and it is pretty well-versed, well-educated opinion since I've been doing this for 30 years. But after that, after a test, a DECA, an oral, a DECA, anabolic, whatever. If you want to use growth, okay, 4 units a day. But again, that has to be built up, okay? You start off with 1 unit the first week, 2 units the second week. After 2 units, you break it up, right? Do 1 unit in the morning, 1 unit at night, okay? The third week, you're going to do so 1.5 units in the morning, 1.5 units at night, until you get to 4. Then you'll be doing 2 in the morning, 2 at night. That's it. You don't want to do more than that. That's all you need. That's all you need, okay? That's it. That is a great bulking cycle. Testosterone, an anabolic, injectable anabolic, a D-bol or an Anadrol, and growth. That is plenty, more than enough. You don't need any more. As a matter of fact, that is a healthy steroid cycle. Make sure you take your Arimidex. Make sure you get your test kit so you're not injecting crap into you that you don't know. Steroid cycle, 8 to 10 weeks tops. Okay, make sure you come off. If you don't come off, that's when you put yourself in danger. Okay, and you're also only going to hit a glass ceiling where you're not going to make any more gains. Come off for 6 to 8 weeks. Use your PCT. Make sure you take your PCT after a contest. Post-cycle therapy. You want your HCG and you want your Clomid. Okay, you want to take that for 6 weeks. And that will enable your natural testosterone level to go back to normal. Okay. And you will clear out your receptor sites. And then when you go back on after another 8 weeks, 6 weeks to 8 weeks, you are going to get the better gains than you would have if you just stayed on all year round. You do not want to stay on all year round, especially when you're a young man. You don't have to cruise. You don't have to do a TRT when you're a young man, okay? If you're under 30, under 35, you don't, okay? You want your natural test levels to bounce back, and they will, okay? And then believe me, when you go back on, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And you're going to be saying, thank you, John, Serious Instilling this, Bodybuilding, Muscle Militia. Thank you for telling me to do it like this, because I've been staying on all year and I haven't making any more gains, and I don't understand why. Well, this is why. Look, just stay safe, train hard. It's pretty simple, man. Train hard. This is pretty simple, okay? Train hard, train consistent, know the form, stick to the basics, eat, enjoy it, love it. Go out and buy the supplements. Use the PEDs with intelligence. Do it safely if you are going to. I'm not condoning that you do. I'm just saying if you decide to do. If you don't decide, everything still matters. Everything is still the same, okay? Except that you're just not using PEDs. Everything stays the same except you're not using PEDs. Stick to the basics, man, and stay consistent. And when you go to these hardcore gyms, people are going to help you. They might seem intimidating when you first walk in, right? But the truth of the matter is the people there, they know what they're doing, and they want to help you. And they might even help you compete if you decide that you want to compete one day, because that's where these people go to train and compete. All right. Believe me, when you go to the hardcore gym, you're gonna see people that have turned pro. You're gonna see autographed pictures all over the wall. You're gonna see people's pro trophies that they've won for bodybuilding contests on the desktop when you first walk into the gym. That's how hardcore gyms are. That's it, right? So train, eat, supplements, kick some fucking ass in the gym, get big, get strong, and let's see some progress. And I'm out. Serious illness. So like, subscribe, become part of my muscle issue. T-shirts coming soon. Later. Peace. Nah, I can't even fucking talk today. Okay. Ugh. Start again. All right, let's start again. Amino acids are what breaks down. Scratch that, please. You could do like, 3 egg whites, 4 egg whites, and then, I apologize. Let your receptors drain out, if that makes sense. Scratch that, please. Let your receptors scratch that. I can't even think straight. You have to let your body you have to let your body. God damn it. I can't fucking think straight today. Oh my God. My oh God. All right, let's start over. All right. Start over. And that's exactly how PED is supposed to be